welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll. And tonight I am joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy. And we also have Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Gentlemen, it's good to be in the room with you guys. Good to be back on the podcast. How are we feeling tonight?
Feeling pretty tired today, so we'll see if we can make it through this one.
Well, you better wake up, man. We're about to talk some Andor.
We only have 3 episodes to
I know,
review.
right? Yeah, I'm crushing some energy drink right now, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, it's after 11 p.m., and Justin is drinking an energy drink.
That's right. Crushing some Ghost.
We are perfectly healthy over here.
Exactly.
But yeah, we are here to review Andor Season 2. The first 3 episodes have dropped on Disney Plus because, you know, Disney hates us, and
They just hate podcasters.
they hate podcasters. That's right. That's what I meant. They hate all podcasters.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, it's nothing against the Royal Geek Podcast. It's literally just, you know, any content creator that covers shows like Andor. Man, this is going to be it's going to be a sprint the next 3 weeks. But hey, we are here to review the first 3 episodes, which were entertaining and a lot to talk about. Before we jump into all of that, we want to remind everybody who's listening to please subscribe wherever you are tuning in. We want to ask you to please share this podcast with your friends. And also, if you could, leave us a review. That helps us out tremendously, okay? So, here's your spoiler warning. Episodes 1 through 3, which, you know, if I was better prepared, I'd give you the episode titles. But since there's 3 of them,
Yep.
it's maybe not as important.
Yeah, we'll leave it for Shamato to do this one.
1 year later is the first one.
Okay.
Corona Tima is the second one, and the third episode is called Harvest.
Oh, yeah, I remember Harvest. That's right. That's right. So, boys, I mean, especially because there's so much to talk about, I guess it's important to go somewhat chronological. I don't know. I don't know how to do
I'd
this.
say we go like storylines. Just
Storylines.
follow, because they're essentially like their own separate, entities. Honestly,
That's true,
the way
yeah.
they run. So I mean, that's the way I would say we do it, because like you don't really ever see Deidre and Cyril interacting with anyone else, or you don't really see anyone.
Sorry, Deidre, you mean the MVP of this whole show?
Dude, yeah, she was pretty phenomenal.
She's
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. She was amazing.
She was awesome this episode.
Yes.
Yeah, or the third episode.
All the episodes.
every
Yeah, and
episode.
in particular the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Well, how about this then? We'll start with literally Andor, okay? Because show's named after him.
He's back, baby.
Yep.
It starts out he is at a flight academy, or maybe it's even
A test facility is
test
what it is. Yeah.
facility. Yeah. He steals a TIE fighter.
Yes.
Newer model that he is not familiar with.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is important, like to know, like that it's not what he was expecting.
Yeah, even when I looked at it, I was like, that looks different, like on the outside, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, I'm not like a Star Wars expert, so there's that. But anyways, he's using his charm to work this girl, but I guess she's in on it too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think essentially he's just trying to convince her to not back out.
Yeah.
I think he sees that she is scared and that she is extremely like worried at this moment, and she's obviously, this is her first steps into being a part of the rebellion.
Cause.
So yeah.
the cause.
Yes.
Well, she even set up with like, is it worth dying for? Like, if I died today, would it have been worth it? And
Yeah.
that right there's a
Crazy
whole
line.
mindset in the first
I
place.
know.
It is. It is.
Man, that was good. It really set the tone for the whole entire 3 episodes.
It is interesting, like thinking about like, have we seen a TIE fighter yet? Do we see TIE fighters in the first season of Andor?
I can't remember.
I don't
Because
think we got a lot of space stuff.
Because honestly, this could be one of the first just TIE fighters.
Mm.
Because remembering the storyline time wise, there were no TIE fighters, I believe. Were there any TIE fighters in the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely, there were. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's
All right.
See, okay, here we go. That's the problem. right there. That's what I've always had a problem with Star Wars. It's like, when is this?
Yeah.
I say it every time we review something where it's even you, a big Star Wars fan, you're like,
Yeah.
wait, have there been TIE fighters before? Like, I don't blame you, Shimano, because sometimes it's really
Yeah,
confusing.
at the very least, it's a new model.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And he is talking about it. He's like, I don't know how to fly this thing,
Yeah.
He literally can't get out of the hangar.
Dude, that was
Yeah,
such
it's
a cool scene,
It's,
man.
it's cool, and it's also like this. It has this oddly comic feel to it.
It did.
Like as he's just
Yeah.
like literally just
It was so clunky.
Yes.
And especially the way he figured out how to get out of the hangar was just to blast through it and
Yeah.
and just go.
Dude, I would be freaking out.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it had to have been on the inside.
And I love how the controls were like they were inverted, and he punched it forward, and it went
Yes.
full reverse.
The classic, the classic. Think you're going forward, you actually go to reverse.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, so good.
So he gets out and he's going to this planet. I don't remember what it's called. Who cares? And he's supposed to rendezvous with a different pilot,
Yes.
someone that he does know. No, he doesn't know. I can't remember.
He's knows,
He knows the
of them.
name.
Yes,
Yeah.
he knows that he's supposed to meet them
Was it-
there.
yes.
Yes.
Rakia or
No,
something
it's-
like that.
Borko. Doesn't matter because the guy's
Yeah,
apparently dead.
Yeah, not there.
So okay, okay. Let's talk about. Actually, dude, we jumped in. I didn't do the normal question. Overall, 3 episodes in. Overall, how are you guys feeling before we even get into these weeds?
I mean, I think 25% of the way into the series, we're at a
Right.
I think it's at a good point. I think it's going to be. I think we kind of have to like shape our minds in an interesting way to watch this series because we're watching. Once again, we're in arcs, and we're even more in arcs than we were in season 1. And I think we just have to kind of like understand that we're watching it in a different way than we would normally be watching it.
Yeah.
And that especially this first arc is going to be a foundational layer. I felt like that's a lot of what was going on throughout the whole setup was just like this is a foundation,
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. I felt this is establishing the tone and the story, and what we are going to see throughout the rest of the series. I feel like throwing us into the middle of a mission we had no context with, right?
Yes.
We don't know what the main objective
Yeah,
is. or
literally
the main goal. All we know is we got to get from point A to point B to pass it off to somebody else, and then oh crap, there's needs to be a plan C, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Like,
And I like that kind of veil of mystery that we have coming into this. Like we did a recap of season 1, which had a lot of great content. So go back and listen to our recap episode. But we had we knew where he was at the end of that season.
Yes.
But now we're jumping in. We're like, okay, it's a year later. What are they doing? Like it kind of opens the door for us as the audience. Like give us more. Like we want to try to
Sure.
figure out what's going on
Yeah.
in the rebellion right now.
so you guys are overall
Yes.
very positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
And the writing is so good right now. Like you take away all the Star Wars elements to it, it's a darn good freaking
Yeah.
just alone rebellion
Honestly, just the fact that like the way they've been able to weave the stories has just been like it's a very difficult process they're doing right now. Like because there is so much like because they haven't really touched it all a lot of the stories, and so they're just like running like perpendicular.
I like
or
how he's-
parallel.
I like how you said you gotta reshape your mind. How you? I mean, really, like the rifle is switched to burst fire right now. You know.
Yeah.
And we're getting big chunks of it. So I think I'm probably struggling with that more than you guys are. Admittedly, I think the writing's good. I think the acting's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's a lot to take in. And I think when it's week to week, you have more time to simmer.
Yeah.
When it's 3 episodes, here's my first critique, and I'm bringing it back to Andor when he gets on this planet. What the heck is going on with these
Other people.
other people? Like
Yeah.
that was the most maybe the most annoying part of the first 3 episodes is like it never seemed to resolve itself. Like he gets away, great,
Yeah.
but
What are they there for?
What are they there for? What's the
why-
purpose?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. And you know what the crazy thing is that I don't think we're ever going to get any more resolution.
Me
with
either.
that. I think that
I think
was
that's it.
Whatever
Yeah.
that little scuffle was that they were having, that was
I
it.
think it was kind of like this idea of like the idea that people in a universe don't always have to be a part of a storyline. Like they can just be doing things. Life is sometimes just happening and it doesn't always have to like make sense or be logical in its path. Like, so you have this group of people who were essentially allies who split into factions, and are literally
The bickering.
pseudo trying to kill each other.
The bickering was so annoying.
It was.
Yeah.
The way that like they were constantly undermining each other
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Oh.
yelling back and forth from the.
through
Yeah,
the
the fact that
fog.
they were so close and they literally had blasters but couldn't hit. Well, honestly, like, who knows? Maybe they're stormtroopers.
Future stormtroopers.
Yeah, like,
Son, you got a future in stormtrooping.
yes.
Stormtrooping. So yeah, I mean, not a deal breaker, but for me it was like, what is going on?
Well, here's another thing, T-Roll. Like, I think Shimano mentioned training your mind, and I feel like it's gonna come down to like the 3-episode drops at the time. Like the first episode and the second episode, you gotta kind of wrap your mind around. It's building to something.
Yeah.
And as far as like a final third arc, like the third episode of that arc.
Yeah.
So the first episode may not be like groundbreaking, and it'd be maybe more like a shotgun of information. And you gotta accept that, knowing that there is a potential payoff in episode 2 and in episode 3.
I get that,
Yes.
but that's my thing. Like building to nothing in this case.
Yeah.
In this one instance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the only thing I learned. Just like in season 1,
Mhm.
Andor always finds himself in some sort of unfortunate circumstance,
Yep.
Yeah.
and he gets out of it.
Correct.
Yes.
That's the only thing that I got from this.
Character building and character reaffirming, I think. Just
Yes.
like kind of who he is. And honestly, it shows that
Unluckiest person ever.
yes, that and also
We're also lucky at the same time,
Yeah.
getting
the,
away.
the stakes you have to go through, the perseverance you make in order to keep the rebellion alive. Like
Yeah.
he could have easily not escaped or tried hard to escape, and it would have been over, done, right?
Yeah.
But it's so important to him now. Like he tried everything out with them. He tried to coach them up on how to actually.
Yeah.
that was hysterical. It was like, you should probably set up a perimeter. I was going to say that. Like it was like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Again, that guy that said that though, he was a perfect example of like the dudes who were just arguing and bickering. I was like, yeah, y'all, it is a dangerous universe out there, and y'all are fighting over what?
Yeah. And,
Pride?
and on top of the fact that they literally, like, they state, and later on you see that how dangerous of a area that they're actually in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, with the animals though.
Like, why
Oh,
can't you,
dude.
Yeah, like, get your mind right. Like,
Yeah.
get yourself, I don't know. In a way, it's almost like, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be almost a microcosm of, like, what could have happened to the rebellion
Hmm.
if it
yeah.
had, because you even see elements of that in Rogue One, where, like, where they're at the end, where they're trying to figure out what they need to do, and there's definitely, like, dissent.
Good point.
So it could be maybe like they were trying to show, like, this is what can happen to a rebellion, even people who are close, if there is not enough strength and there is not enough drive going on in what is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. The only redeemable part of this is like knowing that these random people in the woods, yeah, they're not Imperial, they're not pro-Empire, obviously, because they think that at first the whole time actually they think Andor is Empire,
Yes.
Imperial. So, but they're not necessarily down with whatever he's a part of,
Yeah, he mentioned like part of the rebellion. They're like, which one?
Which one?
Yeah,
Well,
like,
and he played one of them to get some information, and then they asked him a question. He's like, "I'm not going to tell you that.
yeah,
Yeah.
You didn't have to tell me, but you did." And that guy was so mad that Andor got him. But
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so he gets off this planet, and then again leaves them. Again, it's like my mother-in-law was watching the show too. She's like, "I wonder if they're going to go back to them." And
not a
no,
lick, dude. No,
Yeah, I don't think there's
I would
gonna
be so
yes.
shocked unless that original pilot that he was supposed to meet is somehow still alive there.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that they chose to, as he was taking off for the final time, show some, like, temples in the distance. So maybe there's something there.
Maybe there's something
like,
there.
like
yeah.
a possibility of something. So I do think that's kind of an interesting. I do point there, like, maybe there's something more important there.
or the people who are on there on in the little jungle it's the origin story of the Vespa gang on how they got started for Boba Fett.
So I mean, they are almost
Equally
as annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think and then of course he escapes, and I think that's a good point to, like, if we would like to just kind of put a hold on him.
Yeah, because
and
he'll
then
come back.
and then, like, kind of like join him with some of the
Bix
other
and all them
storylines.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about just the wedding. and just the whole
Yes.
scene.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a build-up. It took a while to get through.
bro.
Yes. Literally, it was essentially all three episodes.
Yeah.
Now I will say once again a little bit of critiquing. Like in between each episode, if I had a podcast to talk with y'all, I might be like, okay, what the heck is going on
Right,
between
yeah.
Tay and Mon and then like and Luthen's there and why is he mad? Like so there's again a little bit of confusion that I feel like I needed to. I don't know. I got to do a better job of that personally.
Yeah.
But the tension,
Yeah.
this storyline was I liked this kind of tension.
Yeah.
I didn't like some of the other tension we'll talk about later.
Added some like political intrigue to go
Yes.
Yep.
the basis of a rebellion. Like that's
yes,
seeding up from the inside, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I did find the like leading up to the wedding day, like there was obviously like there were like quote unquote rehearsal, right? Like
Sure,
they had
yeah.
like a hike is what they had, like
Yeah.
a like mountainous hike. But before that, like Luthen shows up and she's like,
what are you doing?
"What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not here for you." And
You're for Skolden or
yeah,
whatever. His
some
name
other
is.
person invited him to
Well, the father of
of the groom, right?
the groom. Yeah.
To bring a piece of artifact back to
Yes.
the place. Which Luthen, I love his mask that he wears, like the he puts on the wig, and he is just
Smile.
like very flamboyant, but like
Yeah.
Yes.
in a very intriguing way, I guess I should say. But
What was interesting, there were multiple times where like there were moments where you would see him drop his facial
yes,
mask,
that was so
and he
cool, man.
became it was like real Luthen for moments.
It was the eyebrows, man.
Yes,
I mean,
and you just like saw like the menace inside of him. Like there was one scene where he was like walking in the background, kind of, and as he was just following like what's going on with his eyes, and it was like that's Luthen, like that is him.
Yeah. And same thing with Mon. There's several times where she had to put this big fake smile
Yes.
on.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
When deep down she's panicking about something.
Yeah, she's and I think she's panicking for like multiple reasons.
So
honestly.
many. Her
Like,
daughter is
yeah.
Well,
one.
I think she, like you see eventually, like her confronting her daughter,
Yeah.
in right before they're about to get married,
Yeah.
and like that moment of she's trying to legitimately like connect with her daughter in
Yeah.
this moment, and her daughter just rebukes her
Exactly.
entirely.
Yeah.
Man.
When she's the one who put her daughter up to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
For
And,
season one.
So you mentioned her like stressing out about a whole bunch of stuff. Like if you really think about it, yes, her daughter's wedding is one.
Yes.
The rebellion is another
Yeah,
one.
the general state of the rebellion.
And
Yes.
then the Senate, like her duties as a senator, like
duties as a senator, her relationship with
her husband,
husband.
and what's his name, Tay or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, like the whole thing with her husband essentially calling her out for an affair that he believes that she's having.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's so
There's a
her
lot going on
Yeah,
with her.
she has like
Which
five,
makes the
six-
closing scene of the episode 3 like all the more pivotal.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we'll get there. But what do you guys think of? Okay, so like Mon, that they're hiking up this mountain now, and they are briefly like talking about the purpose of it and everything, right? But just Mon going up there and kind of like explaining last time that she was up there with her husband, like originally the scene like it was like I felt like it was a throwaway, but I feel like there was more to her relationship with her husband there, and then but also at the same time I feel like she was hinting at the rebellion as a kind of like a parallel to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, did you pick up on that too, Shamato? Or
I mean, I do think there was definitely some like double speak that she was giving.
Yeah.
As well. I think as she was going up as well, she was also, I think it was also double speak in the sense of like she was thinking about herself, and she was, also thinking about her daughter. Like a lot of the things that she was thinking about, like what she would have changed if she had a choice
Mhm.
when she got married, and when knowing now that like she wanted to give that opportunity to her daughter but was unable to, which is, I mean, with all the like the death and stuff going on, there's that, but they're like one of the saddest moments is just like once again that daughter mother-daughter relationship is incredibly sad in my opinion.
It is.
Like
No, you're right.
it's just, and then like she's a lot of the great stuff that has gone with Mon Mothma in this season so far, and even in last season, is a lot of the double entendres, the and things like that are going on that are she's talking about one thing but she's meaning another, or that type of stuff. It's very well done.
Yeah.
political intrigue and just like relationship intrigue that can be boring if not done and written correctly.
Right. And she is confronted by his name is Tay, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not,
his name's Tay.
okay. So he's like, hey, so like I discovered something from what we talked about in last season. Like he was
Yes.
like, and it's very aligned with rebellion behavior, and he's putting two and two together. Like I let you start using my facilities or services
Yes.
or whatever heck he offers. I don't even know whatever he offers, and all of a sudden this starts showing up. We need to have a discussion about that, and he's kind of all like jittery, all skittish, and he's gonna
And he's also having financial troubles of
right.
his own.
He's
on
because he
top of
lost a
that.
lot of money because of the rebel interaction,
Yes.
and so he's upping a price tag. He's like threatening to
Yes.
like extort her essentially for a number to be defined is
Yes,
what
yeah,
they go.
yes.
They're gonna figure it out at a later point.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oof.
And what's really interesting is Mom Mothma keeps on bringing that point up to Luthen, and you just see in Luthen's face that there's only one price.
Right.
Like,
Correct.
there's only the iron price. You know, like
Which was the delivery of that was incredible. He's like the first interaction, she's like, what's his number? What's his number? And she's like, I don't know. We're gonna meet next week. And then the final interaction, Luthen's like, you know the number, and then it's gonna be enough to shut the rebellion down. So there's only one thing, like one number that we need to worry about.
yes,
And then she's like, what's that? And he's like, oh, the fact that you don't know. Like, find joy in that. That kind of
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that was such a cold-hearted freaking delivery
Yeah.
there. I loved it.
yeah. Well, I think in that moment he's just calling her out, like essentially like that she's hasn't ever had to like get her hands
Put your
dirty
skin in the game,
any of these situations. Yeah, essentially like she's never really had to do anything like that. She's never had to really like been a part of anything more than just moving money around. And yeah, the money's important for sure, and
Uh-huh,
she's doing a lot for the rebellion.
She's lobbying
But-
stuff too, like trying to find contacts.
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind
And,
of stuff.
like she's doing a lot, but it's
Yeah.
also like it doesn't feel as strong as someone who's putting their hands on a blaster and
Correct,
doing
yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Which then the following scenes with her, Cinta shows up as an
Yes.
escort for Tay off the island. So we already know what Cinta does. Like she's
Yeah.
literally like a hit person, an assassin.
Yes.
And Mon, to drown out the fact that she had to make this decision, because she's the one who put the hit on now because of what Luthen said. I'm full of belief. I don't think Luthen was involved in that.
Yeah.
I think it was Mon. That's why she's taking
Yeah.
shot after shot after shot to what? You don't think so,
You're
too?
totally wrong.
I think it's more she did not say no.
She didn't say no, and she doesn't want to have to deal
Yes,
with the thought
yes.
of it.
I think it's more.
Okay, so she sanctioned it. Like
I don't.
No.
I don't think it's even sanctioned. I think she just literally like didn't
thought
do
of it.
anything. Like she saw. It's like I think it's more like she's on one side of the room, and she sees something over on the other side of the room,
Mm.
and she knows what's about to happen, and she knows that she could stop it, but
can't.
she's choosing
I
not
don't
to.
know. I like to.
Well,
I like to feel like she had to make that call herself.
I don't
don't
I don't
think
think that's
so.
really her character setup right now.
Well, the shots will kind of led me to that direction because she's been so dialed in, up proper and up front, like with everything the way she's been acting, and now she's taking these shots, dancing.
Let me put you out of your misery because
Please do.
you're making a fool of yourself here, and it's
Okay.
just sad to see.
Okay, go for it.
So Vel, who is Cinta's, I guess, former partner
Yeah,
from season 1.
Yeah.
In episode 1 of, I believe it's
and
episode
also
1.
Mon Mothma's cousin.
Okay, so they're cousins. Okay, I didn't remember
Yes.
that part. But they're talking in episode 1. Vel's like, "Where's Cinta?" And neither of them know where Cinta's at.
with Luthen, she says.
But she's like, "I suspect Luthen knows, but he's not telling me."
Okay.
So she has no idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good then. I'm glad you said that then.
But I do think she is drinking to not think about it.
Yes, I think it's more she knows what's about to happen.
Yeah.
She's just and she knows that if she
Very good,
really
girl.
tried, she could stop it.
Yeah.
But she's not going to.
Instead, she gives in to the DJ droid and has herself a grand old
Yes.
time.
Bro, how about this? How about this party?
Dude, this party
It
gets
gets
wild, dude. It goes from
Yeah.
the ritualistic, like into the circle, pacing around,
Just
cutting
to a
off curls,
full rave.
the full rave. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. It was
I
wild.
was joking with
It's
you guys off.
crazy.
Was joking with you guys off the pod, but like, the song was good, but it lasts forever. Like this whole act felt like it just this. How long is this song? It's like a 15-minute song, man. Just every time they cut to that
Yeah.
scene, that same exact beat is still dropping. But yeah, and she was getting wild. She was getting absolutely turned. So, anyways, our boy Tay is dead. The rebellion's gonna live on, and we know that it does. Luthen secured that Tay couldn't expose what's happening.
Yeah.
So, anything else to talk about with all of this I guess arc?
I'm just wondering, like, honestly, my pull, like I've stated multiple times, I really just want to explore the relationship between Mom Mothma and her daughter. Like, I feel like that's just a relationship that, like, I mean, it's so heartbreaking in my mind because I feel like her daughter wants her to be something, and she kind of is that person, but she can't tell her daughter that she is that person. Like, and it's just, I think it's just kind of a heartbreaking
And
situation.
20, 30, 40 years from now, whenever Mom Mothma dies, her daughter will learn all this stuff and be like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew." And it'll be sweet, but they missed out. Yeah.
Part of me feels like what's gonna like as rebellion grows, I think her family's gonna take a hit, and I don't know. I feel like Mon Mothma might be alone because her family's been killed or something
Yeah,
like that. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised what happens is essentially the rebellion kind of happens, and Mom Mothma is split. She goes towards the rebellion, and not of her own, like, true will, but her obedience to her husband, like Skolden side of the family, goes towards the Empire because they seem to be advantageous in the situation with going towards the Empire,
Right.
and so her daughter, goes with that family because of that fact. And maybe her husband dies in something like I could see him being knocked off at some point. I think he's kind of served his purpose, honestly.
Yeah. I could see that. I could absolutely see that. And I will say, side note, my favorite thing of this whole storyline is just the acting. Again, we talked about it earlier, but just seeing Mon and Luthen have to like put on masks, essentially, enjoy this amazing party for 3 or 4 days or whatever it is, right?
Right. Yeah.
The acting in these scenes were amazing. So this was good. This was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Deidre
Yes.
and Cyril.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're gonna save Bix and them for last?
I think so because that's where it ends.
Yeah, we can kind of like
Okay,
and then
cool. That
we'll
works.
tie
Circle
everything
back
in.
to Andor.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So we see Krennic, the return of
Yeah.
Krennic. Director
Yes.
Krennic's here.
Which was super cool seeing him
Awesome.
come back.
He's got
Secret
a
meeting.
very secret meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Directly from the Emperor.
Himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gorman Project, right?
The Gorman
Yes.
Project. Again, so the only thing I got from it was like, again, if week to week we had time to talk, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But what I got from it is there's a very, 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 very precious resource on Gorman, and the Empire is prepared to completely sacrifice this entire planet if necessary.
Yes.
To get all of this precious resource from that planet's, soil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
you're
from
right.
inside that planet.
And the whole point of that council meeting was to say, how are we going to do this?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, essentially deciding that. Also, I do want to throw out one thing going back to the Mon Mothma storyline. One of the guys that she was talking at the party was
Gorman, right?
he was half Gorman and he was half from Naboo.
Oh,
Those were his two. Those were his.
Yeah, and that guy had a name. They made a point to make a
Reference
point of
to
his
him, yeah.
name. I can't remember his name.
Okay. Yeah.
We're a really good podcast.
Yeah.
Really good podcast.
Yeah, yeah. But just like showing the fact that they kind of like were filling in like who else might be involved in this situation.
Right.
Like that someone in another part of the storyline was kind of connecting the worlds in these moments. But yeah, and then so we kind of have this huge like Dedra's boss is there as well as her. And
Her boss is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember that guy's name either, but he's awesome.
Yeah. He was.
Well, especially his delivery too of like what I don't want it. I want to stay on Axis and try to find him and everything. And he's like, it's a gift. Like, shut your mouth and just do this thing.
Yes.
Like, you don't have an opportunity to work.
Major
for the Emperor.
Partagaz.
There you
Yeah.
go.
He's essentially telling her like you need to take this position.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is.
Krennic specifically wants you to do it.
Yeah.
Like it might look like a demotion, but you can do it well, so go do it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's directly from the Emperor. So
Emperor,
like,
yeah.
it must do.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's be real, man. There's a council meeting. It's cool to see Krennic. You see Dedra and her kind of she's doing her thing, but really, what we want to talk about is this frickin' dinner date.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Oh,
When they were talking about the setup, he's like, "We can cancel. We can do that." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Is it something like?
Dude, what
is
was it?
Serious? Is it?
yeah.
Are they meeting with Vader or something? Or I don't know what's going on. Like, it
Yeah, because the only thing I can remember about Cyril is like, yeah, he kind of had his moments, but
yeah.
he's not bringing the bag home. She is.
You're right. Correct.
Yeah.
So
She's the boss.
Yeah, she's the boss.
Although he did get what seems like a
did,
sizable
yeah.
promotion.
He did. It's good.
Very
Floor
interesting.
manager now, of
Yes.
the same floor he was on or whatever.
Yeah, he pointed to where he was.
Yeah.
And he's
His
like,
whole
focus,
speech.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very formulaic middle management speech. Honestly,
Yes.
for a first day hire.
But
Doing
seeing
his best Milchek.
seeing okay, so first of all, they moved in together.
Yes.
I had forgotten that they had kind of fallen for each other.
Yes, like it
Season
was
one.
a little at the end of season 1. It was a little, it was a little light on like the confirmation.
Vague.
It was it was a little vague. Like you knew Cyril was in.
Yeah.
Like, he was like
Yeah.
he was
Locked
in.
in. Yeah.
But it was a little vague at the end of how much she was also in the other direction.
You really can't tell with her. Her emotions
Yes,
are
you're so subdued.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was definitely interesting seeing that. Honestly, their house fits her style.
But honestly, I think that's all of the Empire, though.
It is
that's
possible.
Empire housing, I think, is what it is.
It is,
But,
but
it's a corner unit. They got a lot of windows.
yeah, there's tons of windows there. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good point.
but like it did kind of fit her, just like stylistically, the lack of anything. Like it was just so like
black and
bland.
white.
Yes, it was very
Literally, when
yes.
she was picking out her outfit, it was black
Yes,
and white.
yeah, she had literally had the choice. Yes, but yeah, so it was. And then of course, we see who comes to the front door.
Well, hold on.
Dude.
Before that,
Alright.
though, before that, they got music playing. They're getting changed. They're setting up the silverware, the plates. I was like,
Yeah.
clearly someone important is coming over. But I just love watching them because they're
Doing real people things
Yes,
in
because-
a galaxy.
yes.
Yeah.
because like in the Empire there are real people who
Yeah.
have their own emotions and like the fact that I feel so strongly like I like her when she's gonna be doing probably some wicked stuff at some point in this season. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
Like, and once again, it's almost like, honestly, like the wicked stuff. It seems like she's going to do, and any of the stuff she has done doesn't seem to be. It's interesting because it doesn't seem like she's doing wicked things for the sake of being wicked. Like it seems like it's more like she's being wicked because this is the system that she believes is the right way, and she's going to do things because the system tells her that's what is the right thing to do.
yeah.
So it's like it's just
She was raised by the
yes,
Empire.
She was raised by the Empire.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I do want to throw out one more moment. I love the little moment with Cyril when he just tweaks the fork.
Yes.
'Cause it's just slightly off. Like it's such a like an interesting little like
OCD thing,
like
bro.
and like the look on his face too was like this like moment of complete like he was completely out of sorts for that moment because it was not completely right.
Yeah. That was good.
Which when we see who's coming to the door,
You know why he felt
like
that way.
yeah, it tells him like it tells us exactly why he was so out of sorts about something so small.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of who comes to the door, Mama shows up. Mama Cyril shows up.
Yes.
And bro, I can't remember the last time I was watching something where I felt this uncomfortable.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was again off the pod. I was joking that I felt like I was watching like a Jordan Peele movie. Like it was just so like angsty.
Yeah,
Yes.
cringing. And,
Get me out of this room right now.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you feel for Cyril so bad. His
Yes.
mom. Oh my gosh, his mom is the worst.
completely
Just the worst.
passive aggressive, underhanded, that sweet tone of voice that she is like just peeling off your skin.
Yeah.
Like,
I just like I'm watching it and I'm just like I'd give anything for one of them to just throw her, out the window.
yeah. Like,
Oh, man.
and like all, and honestly, like it just seems like all Cyril wants is his mother to love him
Yeah.
and like show it, and
Yeah.
like everything that seems to happen, she's just constantly calling him out. And
Dude, how many
Yeah.
times did she call him soft? Like she was like,
Yes.
he's a very
It's,
delicate.
it's good. You can toughen him up. And when she's like, "You're not what I expected," talking to her,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm like, "You girl, you have no idea what you might know about your son. But
Yeah.
you do not know about Deidre." All
No.
right.
You didn't
well,
realize.
I mean, he was expecting it to be someone soft. I think
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what she was expecting. Like maybe someone who doesn't even look like they're part of the Empire. You know,
Oh gosh.
But then again, at some point, Cyril can't take it anymore. He has to. He leaves the room. He has to take a break, and this is when Deidre just goes off
Yes.
on the mom.
I did not see any of that coming at all. Like, cause she doesn't wear her emotions on her sleeve. Deidre
Yeah.
doesn't, and
No.
the fact that she came so hard at her the
This
mom
is how
at
it's
his
So
gonna-
mom.
controlled.
Yes.
Yeah.
So controlled too.
She had everything in check too, and she's like, this is the rules now. If you want, he's gonna call you twice a week.
Twice a month.
Yeah, twice a month, visit you once a week, and like she's laying out all the ground rules. And if you don't want any of that to change at all, then follow the rules.
Well, that's really good, sweetie. I'm not done talking.
Yeah.
You did when she
Yes.
said that. She clapped back on her. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yep.
It was amazing. And then literally, like when he wakes up from his like nap or like he like catches his breath, he comes back in the room. He's like, are they laughing? Having
Yeah. What's going on in here?
yeah, he was
And then
so
she immediately
confused.
compliments him. She was telling me how far you've come in your position. Like,
So
it's
proud of you.
Yeah, like, oh man, and
Yeah.
the look that Deidre gives, like, that's right. Keep
Yeah.
going. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Oh, geez, dude, that was so good, man.
Dude, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is so cool.
I think also because like initially you kind of felt like she was a little nervous herself, so you weren't necessarily expecting her to be as like direct with what she was doing. Because even though we know Dedra as being very direct and everything like that, and everything else at the beginning, especially when they were getting ready, she did have you saw her have little like moments of
Well, the fact that she cared about what her outfit was
yes,
gonna be.
yes. The fact that she even cared, the fact that she wasn't
that's right.
decisive immediately about what it was that she was
Yeah,
wearing.
yeah.
You know, and even the fact that she didn't
Twitching
wear
her fingers.
yes, twitching her
Ooh, yeah.
fingers. Even the fact that like essentially we almost always see her in white, and she chose to wear black this time.
Mm.
So like little things like that are showing that she had some anxiety, some insecurities in the moment. It kind of made you think like not thinking that she would be as like quick and as decisive in her strike
Yeah.
when she actually went after the mother.
I think she's just gotten fed up and she's like, okay, well, this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Mom was being sloppy too, like the words she was saying, and the fact that she was like dipping the fondue and dripping it everywhere. Like, so
Oh.
she was just very flippant with everything that she was doing. So like Deidre
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm done now. I've seen enough.
You're not even that impressive. I think that's what she learned. She's like,
Yes.
I was fearful because Cyril made it sound like you're this
Yeah,
wicked, awful person, and you are.
yeah,
There's nothing impressive
Yeah,
about you.
yeah. I think there's also like this idea of like she expects perfection, but she is not perfection herself.
Yes.
yeah.
Like I think that the hypocrisy of it is
Yeah.
I think that was part of it too.
Well-
Kind of like getting at what you were kind of saying
Yeah.
there.
Well, even when she brings up Cyril's uncle,
Yes.
and then
There you
Deidre's
go.
like, you
That's
really
not something to
yeah,
brag
don't
about.
brag
It's
about
like-
that.
She's like,
at
that's
all.
not the brag
Yeah.
that you think it is.
I've seen the record. I've seen the reports. Like,
Yes.
you need to stop talking about him.
Yeah.
Yes. Like even that moment, like your big moment of calling somebody out is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
So good. So, anyways, power couple here. Dedra and Cyril. Can't wait to see where else that goes. I think the last storyline, the last arc that we got to talk about is on the again. I don't know what planet they're on, but wherever Bix and Brasso.
Brasso, yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, and there's a guy, and then it's not William, but it's like Willem or
Yeah.
Will Nom or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll drink one for Bix. That's my girl. I love Bix. Anyway, moving on.
Apparently,
Wilmon.
you weren't the only person in this show who
Yeah.
loved Bix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, this was again a lot of anxiety in this show. You got an awkward dinner. You got
Yeah.
a potential rape scene. There's just
Yeah.
a lot of things happening here in
Well,
this.
Even like Bix, when we first are reintroduced to the character, she's having a dream about her torture
Yeah.
from the doctor that Dedra like brought to
That's
her.
right.
And
Yes.
so there's something going on with her. Like she's got some PTSD going on.
Mhm.
So like
For sure.
there's a lot of trauma going on in this whole entire series so far, on all different sorts of sides.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about like she was being tortured for a long time, and although it's been a year since she's been rescued, it's not been like it is still on her mind, and like as far as we know, it could have been months that she was being tortured. By
right. Yeah.
when this was happening. So like it was a a very traumatic experience for her. And we're just seeing them try to they're essentially trying to fit into this farming world that they're
Right.
on as they're waiting for Andor to come back. And so they're just working as mechanics, and unfortunately, this place has been certain sectors of this planet are being randomly getting random checks by the Empire.
Yeah, they're running a census.
Yeah.
Yes.
'Cause
Just seeing if there's
they're hiring illegal
Yes.
immigrants to
Yes.
harvest their crops.
Yes.
Is what we learned.
yes.
Literally.
Yeah, and so Bix, Brazos, and like Wellham, they are essentially like hired help that
Yes,
are
yes.
undocumented.
Honestly, like, oh my! And when I saw Willman, I was like, with his girl, and I was like, the first thing that I thought, I was like, young love is dumb love.
Yep.
And
They're gonna screw
like,
something up.
Yeah, like 100%. I was like, that's gonna be.
Yeah, but he played like he was uninterested, like the entire first part of that.
I know, it's so annoying.
Yeah, yeah, that was annoying. But Brasso, he's whoever's
phenomenal guy.
yeah, he's a phenomenal character. Rest in peace. But
No, man.
the fact that he was talking to the one head farmer that was helping him out or whatever, quote unquote, helping him out, and only to find out like that he betrayed them and he turned them into the empire.
No, I don't think they did.
No, he did. He said, like, yeah, it wasn't for show. Like I'm pretty sure the look on his face was when he made eye contact with him. He was like, you turned on me. Like, did you pick it up?
No, I thought it was the other way around. I think Brasso was protecting the farmer because I think.
Am I wrong again? What am I watching? Are we watching
like-
the same freaking show here?
Again, if they do this week to week, we can talk about it.
Well, because the way I saw the farmer looking at him was like a moment of like,
Thank you.
because what he was doing was he was
Dang.
essentially
I didn't see
making
it that way,
seem,
man.
What seemed like it was him who turned them in because he was trying to make the farmers look like they were helping the Empire when they were actually helping them. Because I mean, he got them.
Why would they show up early then? Why would they like?
Well, because you want to know why? Because our boy who was chasing Bix.
Oh, he wanted Bix that bad that he came
Yeah.
back
Hey, we're
earlier?
gonna take a little detour. We got these other people I know. We got to go.
Mm.
I think that's exactly right.
Dang it, dude. Okay. All right.
Like, I
Sorry, buddy.
legitimately
I'll take my
think
other
he
L.
was just-
I'll take my other
It's
L.
like, especially because all through the episode, all that farmer was helpful. Like, honestly, like everything that he did was helpful. He,
I think it was a contingency plan. Like if he knew if it ever turned south, I got your back.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was literally just. I think it was a one last moment of Brasso being the dude. Like he just was like that rock person who just took care of his people. He knows what he needs to do, and does good for people who do good for him.
Now again, they are ambiguous with it. It is unclear technically. Like this is just theory on me and Shimato's part. But like I mean, my first thought was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he screwed him over, and I was like, well, actually, maybe they're just they talked about this,
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it was also Brasso's like the way he was saying it was almost like he was going over the top. Like it was
on a show.
Yes, he was putting on a show to like how much this was really happening. I feel like he would have been a little more almost reserved if he really felt that way about this situation. But he wanted to make sure that he made the point.
Yeah, because like why would that farmer dude set up like
Because he was worried. He was worried about he was going to get found out as a harbinger of these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he like also sets up that emergency, or at least tells Brasso that he's got an emergency order for them to go to another farm to help them. I think if he wants to double cross him, he would just have the Imperials show up whenever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just like I think that one farmer was completely above board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
Again,
3 hours of sleep there for you. That's
we could be wrong. We could be wrong, but normally we're not.
Yes.
and you are. So
Yeah, right. Well, Severance, yes, but anyway,
We were all
I had,
wrong
I had
with
more
Severance.
W's. I had more W's than Severance. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Bix is in quite the predicament with the leader of this search
this
party.
lieutenant.
He's
it's-
making physical advances on her.
Yes.
very uncomfortable, and it was clear what he was about from. Well,
Get go.
I didn't necessarily think it was going to get to the point of attempted rape, but
Yeah. I think at the very least he was very interested.
very interested, and to the point where he starts out, in episode 2, like basically asks her out.
Yeah.
Um,
And her husband, she brings like, oh, my husband's off planet, like trying to keep him away from her. Like, okay, there's somebody else in the picture.
Yeah, and again, not that I would, yeah, it's a tough place for her to be, but I think maybe in not hindsight, but with everything that went south, and the fact that like you just wonder like if she would have maybe gone for a ride with him in episode 2, would he have looked the other way?
Mm. Yeah, who knows?
tough,
Like
man.
either that or he would have tried something earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
or that.
it's up in the air scenario. I kind of feel bad for the guy who's like his driver.
Yeah,
Like in that moment, because like in this moment, unless of course he kind of knows this is what this guy does. But honestly, like the way the guy was reacting to like the situation, I didn't feel like he was that. I feel like he just was like legitimately like there's something wrong going on in there. I don't know what's going on. Like he seemed scared.
Oh,
Like
he
really.
called back up. He called back up.
Yeah, he
didn't
called
know.
back up, and I think he felt like
Yo.
he was legitimately scared in that moment.
oh boy, walks out of the house, out of the shack,
Yeah.
trips, smacks his head on something, and dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, Bix fought back.
Bix
man.
fought back, man.
I
Good
love
for her.
it.
I know.
love it,
I
dude.
know she's been through a lot, and
yeah.
obviously that can't be easy when you're fighting back, and it definitely wasn't if you're watching it. But
Yeah.
man, she freaking rocked it, dude.
She's incredible in so many ways. So
She hits him with that big wrench, like
Dude, that massive
multiple
yes,
times.
Yes.
dude, he got knocked. It was awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, Brasso's going to try to find the kid
Willman, yeah.
Willman, yep. Willman's
Who
running back.
Who
Ugh.
stupidly leaves his speeder at the house.
Yes. So they're all divided, and unfortunately, when I saw Brasso escape and he's on the speeder,
yeah.
I was like, there's no way they get out of here with everybody unscathed.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna fall, and I have a spooky suspicion it's gonna be Brasso.
Mm,
yeah,
And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the person you want it to be is Willman.
Yes,
In this
through that
situation.
kid. Yep,
Yep.
It's not going to be Bix.
yeah.
she's too pretty.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
and then on top of that, like you have like he's literally the protector. Like Brasso
Yep.
is that dude. Like he's the protector. So you knew that something was going to happen with him there. And so they do a weird like it was a little odd the shooting that they do of it because like they don't really
Never
show
see it.
You never see it. They give you this long pause on this one stormtrooper as he's raising his weapon as everyone else is firing around him.
No, that was
This
weird, wasn't
this
it?
one stormtrooper's lifting his weapon.
He didn't even look like he got the shot off. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah, like honestly, it really didn't. And then of course, I think what they're trying to create is this moment of like he was saved. I think you're supposed to almost like it was supposed to be sort of like the moment in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where Peter thinks he's saved Gwen Stacy for just a moment.
Yeah.
And he comes down and she's, gone.
That one's tough.
So I think that's kind of what they were trying to create was this moment of like he saved Brasso, and then but you find out that it wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, Cassian does show up. He's got the TIE fighter, and he's going ham on the stormtroopers and all the inspectors. So it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, unfortunately, Brasso falls, and you just this look. We're skipping over some details here, but they escape, and you could just see the look on Bix's face. It's just
Yeah. She's broken.
been through it. Yeah. Cassian looks back at her, and he's heartbroken too. Willman's probably like also in distraught and hopefully
blame himself a little bit. Hopefully,
so.
he blames
Hopefully.
himself.
yeah, hopefully he does.
I do like how when Cassian shows up, he has more control over the TIE fighter.
Yes,
that
thankfully
did help.
he's learned a little bit, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But it was pretty cool watching the red icons like disappear, like when the whatever the harvest was that fell on them, like showing that they're dead or like didn't sense life. That was pretty cool.
I know, that was interesting.
But yeah, Bix and him embrace, and I don't know. I just felt like okay, we're good now. Like Brasso's dead, I get it, but they all like load up and
Yeah.
that's it. That's
Well, and the thing is, in the rebellion, you don't have time to mourn.
yeah. He's
gotta
like, let's
keep
go.
going.
He said, let's go.
You have to go.
Yep.
And what also is sad is, bro, they had to leave the droid. What's the droid's name?
Oh, B2 emo man.
Yes.
That's heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah, but the charger was there. They needed like he said, your charging stations with whoever the lady was.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sweet lady. Yeah.
Which they'll probably end up back on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
That planet they'll probably go back to. They got to
Again,
pick
back
up.
to our theory that we did. I don't think he screwed them over. I think it was all a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling they could go back to that planet. Yeah.
I mean, they
for B2 at least.
they have to get him back, and Willman is probably going to be a whiny, angsty,
Ooh.
young in love.
What if they take the B2's operating system and put it into K2, which creates K2SO? Like,
That could be interesting. Like maybe like the Imperial
I like
plus him
Yeah.
becomes
No.
K2.
that would be sick because he's clearly in a failing body because he can't stay off the charger for too long.
Yeah.
So why not transfer his consciousness?
That would be
into
that's an
K2?
interesting take.
Dude,
Also,
give me a W, baby.
You guys know how? Yeah, you need it. You need it.
The only problem would be their personalities are
Totally different.
very different.
Yeah.
Extremely different.
But now if you were to take like the fact that he literally like goes and he mixes with the Imperial droid's mind,
Yeah.
and somehow that creates like a third personality,
Like he's
maybe.
severed.
Ooh.
No, but did you guys notice how B2? He's like, he was happy, like chasing those kids.
Oh,
when they
yeah,
had the-
yeah.
dude. Time of his life.
yeah, he was actually happy there.
Been
You know?
heartbroken when he
Yes.
had to get left behind.
And I think that's why Brasso was like, "You're going to be happier here. Like
Yeah.
this is better for you."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Taking him
Oh,
out to
man.
pastures, I felt like.
Once again, Star Wars always makes you care for these droids.
Yes.
You know,
Dang.
they really know how to do it. Well, Star Wars also makes us care for this show because this has been an awesome show so far. Oh, and one more thing too. True to Andor form, you know, the fact they're doing 3-episode arc releases, right?
Yep.
No clue. Hey, what happens next week? Well,
Couldn't tell you.
if you think of season 1, you would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arc to
Well-
arc to arc, you would have never guessed.
Well, on top of that, since we actually know there's going to be time jumps between, these arcs.
Oh,
So-
yeah, they did say that. I forgot what they were.
Like, so honestly, like what it's going to be interesting because I'm honestly, I think episode 4 is just going to be a number later. Like, I think it's going to be
Yeah.
like,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was
like
going to say.
since
that too.
like
Yeah.
episode 1 was 1 year later, I
It'll be
think
like 6
episode
months
4 will be like,
or-
2 years
Yeah.
later.
yeah, like something like that.
That's interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. But anyways, we will be back to review episodes 4, 5, and 6. So buckle up next week. So be sure to come back. Want to remind you to subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening. Leave us a review and a comment. And also, most importantly, share this podcast with some of your friends. If you're listening at this point, here's the thing. You're not the only Star Wars person in your own life. You've got other friends who enjoy Star Wars. If you're still listening to us almost an hour into this, you have Star Wars buddies. So send them this podcast and help out your friends at the Royal Geek Podcast, okay? With all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shimano, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.